Part 2, we are at the end of Line Club with really annoying guy. And we actually get to see Daft Punk, which Spoonie was cool with. He actually thought the soundtrack was awesome. Well, maybe not awesome, but he liked it. But as it turns out, Zeus is a bad guy. Yeah, who knew, right? And he basically backstabs everybody, all of the rogue or good programs in the club. And my interpretation of the club is, it's a trap for all the rogue programs to be killed off by bad guys. But, yeah, Sam's in neck-deep trouble. All the rogue programs are basically getting killed off. Korra shows up to help him, and then Korra gets damaged, and so it looks bad, and then Flynn shows up. Badass Jedi God mode, basically. He touches the floor, lights go dark, the bad guys freeze up, the remaining rogue programs scatter, and Sam is carrying Korra out, and Flynn's trying to escape, and the one remaining bad guy captures Flynn's disc. Ooh. Up comes next Spoonie's big rant, where I get a little upset with him. They basically escaped the end of Line Club. Korra's damaged. They're sitting at the base of the elevator, and Flynn's obviously upset because he's lost the disc, and Sam and his son has basically, didn't listen to him. So things have gone disastrous, and they're arguing, and Flynn wants to do nothing, but he's like, I can't do nothing now. He knows it. He doesn't say it, but he can't do nothing now. And then he looks over and sees basically this light rail train sort of thing. And he says, okay, we're going to go. And this will take us right to the light source. We might beat Clue there because he's going to be heading there. And Spoonie immediately goes, you don't know that he'll do that? How can you know that he'll do that? And my thought is, because he built the grid. You have to understand, Spoonie started complaining a lot about this, about how he didn't see a lot of new technology being inputted into the grid, and we could have done so much. And he really didn't like the movie because it didn't bring in new technology. This is Flynn's work on 1985 technology. The grid is not online. It is an isolated computer using 1985 technology. The train, Spoonie's complaining, how do you know it will go there? It does, I will admit, end up being a bad decision because it goes towards the gateway, the light source. And the reason it does that is because Flynn built that. Flynn built pretty much everything in the grid. And what it ends up going to, which is not ends up being the source, but a moving factory ship, kind of like the big base ship in the original movie, and it kind of interrupts the train. And that's probably Spoonie's point, but it came off as like, you don't know anything about this place. Of course, he knows everything about this place, almost. He built the grid. After that, he starts talking about, well, it talks about the light train, the light sail thing. And he's like, I kind of saw it somewhere, like in a video game or something, like you had to defend it or something, I can't know what, and my thought was, the original Tron! I apologize, Spoonie. I screamed that at the screen when I was listening to it, and I was like, what do you mean you saw? It's a reference to the original Tron. How did you not get that? I'm a little surprised you missed that. But anyways, they have to heal Korra, and that's when we find out she's an Isos. And how we learn that, and how we find out that Zeus and Korra knew each other because Zeus helped her. At one point. But Spoonie's like, he admits in his videos, like, oh, I'm sure it was explained later, but at this point I don't care. It's like, good reviewing job. That's kind of what... Spoonie, I know this is the first video, and I'm being very presumptuous. But as a reviewer, if you're reviewing something, you gotta take the movie as a whole, and no matter how bad it gets. But you know what, you've been doing this longer, so what do I know? But, I mean, this is just a counter review. We discover that Cora's an Isos, and that her programming resembles DNA or something. And Spoonie had a lot of trouble with this, and I can't fault him for it, because the Isos were not expanded upon, and should be. There should have been character development there, again, and this is my big point, he only touched upon it a little bit, but character development really would have been critical here. So, yeah, we end up at the factory ship, where we discover Clue's plan. Clue's plan is to use all the rogue programs, repurpose them into an army, and using Flynn's disc, invade Earth. Surprisingly, Spoonie, in his video, did not seem all that, like, how could you do that? How could you blah, blah, blah? I would have thought he would have, like, gone completely off the wall with that. He did not. I was a little, okay. I was a little, like, with that, but I accepted it. But, so using Flynn's disc, he's discovered a way to send this entire army onto Earth. Clue then proceeds to give a speech, and Cora gets captured by Rizzler. And again, here's the major spoiler point. Rizzler is Tron. Yeah. Repurposed, basically. So, Tron's... like, Rizzler Tron is rocking 2 discs, he's being all badass stuff. And this is my major complaint with the movie. I have my own. Not enough Tron. It's Tron Legacy, you should have enough Tron. Still a good movie, but not enough Tron. Cora gets captured, and Flynn and Sam, after a very brief argument, decide, okay, we're going to split up. Flynn's going to go capture a ship. Sam's going to go get the disc back. Spoonie complained about the number of guards. I agree. More than 4 guards. You should have more than 4 guards guarding the disc. But Sam gets the disc back, takes on Rizzler, and manages to escape him, rescuing Cora in the process. And Sam and Flynn and Cora fly off in this ship. Then, and of course, Clue gives chase. And Spoonie basically went, shit, you could put that in the video game. There's essentially a little fighter battle. And for Spoonie to say, oh, you could basically put that in the game. And he acted like, oh, they did that just for the game. And my thought was, so we can't have a World War II fighter battle because there'll be a game about it. Or we can't have any Star Wars things because they'll have, like, fighter battles in it. That was kind of an offhanded throw there that was, I think, unnecessary, but it was a minor thing. There's a battle, and the good guys managed to escape by the skin of their teeth. And this is where Spoonie basically starts to bring up Uncanny Valley. Now, if you've seen the original Tron, you know the premise that a program takes on the visual persona of the person that wrote them, of their user. So, Tron looks like Alan. Well, Clue was written by a young Flynn. And Flynn from 1985. First and foremost, Flynn's no longer young, and Jeff Bridges is not young. So, in order to make Clue look like a young Jeff Bridges, a.k.a. Flynn, they had to use some CGI. Spoonie said, oh, they didn't have it. They didn't have it. It didn't look, it looked all wrong. And I'm like, I thought it looked okay. I mean, was it totally phenomenal? Could you see that there was CGI? Sure. But what does he mean, they didn't have it? You noticed there was CGI, therefore they did not have it? I went to the 3D, and you technically don't need to see Tron in 3D, but because of the premise of the movie, it kind of fits. So, I mean, Go see Tron in 3D. I highly recommend the 3D version for Tron. Back to the Uncanny Valley. The only time it was really, 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 truly apparent was at the very, very end for like 5 seconds. And that's when it was the most noticeable. I thought they did a really good job on it. But Spoonie didn't like their 3D effect. Spoonie, in his top 10 worst videos, and he put Tron at number 4, and I think that's really, really, truly undeserved. And the reason that is because Spoonie, I think you're expecting too much. I think that brings up pretty much all of the major points I wanted to counter Spoonie on. I know Spoonie had a lot of points. For the most part, if I didn't mention them, Spoonie, I agreed with you. So basically, that's my counter review. But before I go, I wanted to say something. I'm a fan of Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy X. Spoonie, I love your Final Fantasy X and your Final Fantasy VIII review. I am excited about the conclusion to Final Fantasy X. And people, if you haven't seen it, he's not praising them, shall we say. And although I love them, I don't know if I love them in spite of or because of the quirkiness and the stupidity that Spoonie mentions, but I do love them. But I love his videos, and I am excitedly looking forward to seeing them. So, this is not me telling everyone out there that Spoonyone should go down. Absolutely not. Spoonyone should live forever. Long live Spoonyone. I'm just countering him on this video. I disagree with him on a lot of things through his reviews, but it's usually like 1 or 2 points in one video, and they're always minor, and for me to, like, totally go, I don't agree, I hate you, it's like, why? There's no point. No, I love your stuff, Spoonie, and I'm sorry that this video was the first thing that you've ever heard of me. I sent you a grass video, but I'm pretty sure you never got it to work. Hopefully see you again, because I intend to do more videos. I hopefully won't look as stupid as I do now. Good night, folks.